Okay, stop what you're doing and listen to this, because I did not know this until I quickly checked the interweb, because Louis Tomlinson just did the most Louis Tomlinson thing ever. And if you haven't heard about it yet, well, oh my God, maybe you're not ready, or maybe you aren't. I wasn't ready to hear it. It's all good. So apparently this lovely Louis um, just made a secret 4-figure donation to help his old One Direction bodyguard get life-saving surgery. And who can blame the internet for collectively sobbing? So I just found out now because I've been busy all day and thought it'd be kind of cool to do a summary of the media coverage and fandom reaction. And yes, why you literally can't help but fall in love with this man all over again and again and again. Okay. So here's the story. According to reporting by The Sun, Louis donated a 4-figure amount, and we're talking thousands of pounds sterling, British currency, to help his former One Direction bodyguard, Preston Mahon, cover life-saving surgery. And I'm going to paraphrase what some of the outlets have reported. So The Sun framed Louis as kind-hearted and highlighted how he stepped up when Preston needed help. Yahoo UK confirmed that the bodyguard was overwhelmed and grateful, saying that Louis' donation made a real difference in affording critical treatment. And then an outlet called Yardbarker summarized the story, calling Louis' gesture the quiet generosity that fans have always known about. The bodyguard, Preston, has been dealing with blocked arteries in both legs and already exhausted his savings and borrowed money. He turned to GoFundMe to survive, and Louis appeared like an angel with a credit card. Like, isn't he amazing? So in a weird way, well, in a nice way, this is classic Louis. I think it goes to show how Louis is. I have loved this about Louis for so long. Like, he's the guy that he comes through, like he's there, and um, he's the one you count on, even when you don't know you're counting on him. So I would say that this only just reinforces everything I've ever really felt about just why Louis is just truly this gem. Okay. And you know what's even amazing about this is that Louis did not grandstand. He did not issue a statement. He just quietly showed up, and that's just who he is. So let's have some fangirl gushing moment. I think I'm on a roll gushing about Louis. So, like, can we talk about this? This is Louis Tomlinson extraordinaire, not the Louis the tabloids sometimes disparage or don't appreciate enough. This is the Louis this is not the Louis that the industry has ignored or stepped on or just not given his due. This is not the Louis that the Twitter trolls love to underestimate. So this Louis is the one that shows up for people when they need him, like I keep saying, right? And this is the Louis that remembers who protected him. And this is the Louis that literally doesn't forget anyone who is part of his story. Because every time I think I can't love Louis Tomlinson anymore, he's like, hold my tea. Okay. And so what has the fandom who saw this news earlier today, what's the chatter been saying? Well, let's talk about the fandom, because the meltdown has been glorious. And I don't even think it's a meltdown. It's a celebration. So from a spot check, it's these are some online chatter. So on Reddit, some of the comments include things such as Louis could literally turn water into tea at this point, and I'd believe it. The way he's still taking care of people who took care of him, I'm crying. Amen, I'm crying. This man is the blueprint of loyalty. So true blue, those blue eyes, true blue Lou. They should come up with a Pantone that is called True Blue Lou, or there should be like a flower that is a rose, because Heidi Klum has a rose named after her, and we should have someone should like create a blue rose and call it True Blue Louis Tomlinson Rose. Okay. And have it like natural, like indigenous to Yorkshire. Okay. And on Twitter X, some fans have said, my God, he didn't even publicize it. The humility, the heart. Louis is the type of person who gives without making it about him. Protect him at all costs. Totally. Someone please wrap Louis Tomlinson in bubble wrap and keep him safe. Absolutely. And then apparently on TikTok, there were stitches, edits, and other like quick videos that talked about Louis Tomlinson with captions like, Louie is what being a man looks like. Oh, for sure. I did not make that up though, but I would if I had TikTok. He is the kindest soul in pop culture. And I've never loved someone, I've never met so much. Well, join the club. So looks like the platforms are flooded with love. And for the people that are veteran Louis fans, like, they can't help but be like besotted by this. And the newer Louis fans, well, welcome to the club. There's far more about this guy to love. And this wasn't just charity. It was kind of like emotional nostalgia activation. And this is why I think it's hitting so hard. Well, number one, it's One Direction history. This bodyguard wasn't some random guy. He was with them during the chaotic years, airport mobs, hotel stampedes, global mania. He protected the boys. And Louis never forgot. And Louis did not make it about himself. No PR, no announcement, just a donation and a thank you from the family. Pure heart. This proves who Louis really is. This is the same Louis who bought fans plane tickets and comforted girls at signings, visited sick fans, wrote handwritten letters, gave backstage passes, donated privately again and again. And his kindness is not performance; it's his personality. Like it's who he is, and it's not like it's not anything other than this is the Louis that the people who grew up with him have always known. But the timing of all this, like the timing, I don't think it was planned. I don't think it was like plotted. I think he just lucked out because this happened right after he dropped Palaces, and then he's in his How Did I Get Here era launch because that album doesn't come out till January. And there's kind of this mature aesthetic when you look at some of the publicity shots and like the visuals. And I think fans are reconnecting to Louis to like in a deeper to the deeper, gentler side of his personality. I think it's just the sound, the aesthetic, just where he is in his reflective interviews lately. And I would call, it's just my personal opinion, Louis's entire artistic identity right now seems to be about reflection, memory, legacy, returning and honoring his roots, and of course honoring the past. And here he is literally helping someone who was part of his past survive. And this is the emotional storyline that fans love. Fandom loves this. But this is classic Louis. The Sun called him kind-hearted, quietly generous, someone who didn't hesitate to help. One article emphasized how personal this was because the bodyguard in Preston was not just staff. He was someone who'd really almost been like part of that One Direction family. Of course, Yahoo highlighted the raw human element, that this was not a publicity stunt, but a man helping another man through a difficult health time. And that is why this makes fans emotional, because it's just ultimately, again, Louis being Louis. And let's just go a bit deeper about that. So when Louis does something kind, the fandom is not just shocked, we're just stunned. And it's like, you did it again in a good way. They're like, of course he did. Because this is sort of his pattern, the kindness, the loyalty, the quiet giving, remembering people that others may forget, and acting without hoopla or fanfare. Louis is consistent, grounded, and honestly, he's the emotional backbone of the fandom, whether you're a Larry or not. Because even people that aren't Louis biased are like, okay, fine, maybe I'm a Louis girl now. I mean, you should have been years ago. How can you not be? So this donation, what could it mean? Well, I think it just means he's being kind, but it does strengthen his public image, but that's not why he did it. Louis has always been the compassionate one. He's always been the one with the heart, and he's the one who always stayed connected and real to real people. I think the timing is just lucked out with the timing, but it really does elevate his upcoming album. Fans new and old are now kind of primed to interpret his lyrics as even more emotionally genuine than they've always been, and cannot help but increase the album resonance instantly. And of course, it revives 1D nostalgia, because anything that ties back to that era, instant gold, especially for the fans that have been there from the beginning. And, this recent story proves Louis is still tied to the people from that time. And he just built upon the community of Louis fans. But it definitely is going to attract new fans, just like his appearance on Diary of a CEO attracted new fans. Because I would say people really do love celebrities who do good things quietly, like who don't do it for the publicity, for the tweets, for the chatter. They do it because they really want to just do it. And that's why Louis didn't make these big announcements. He didn't make it into a big deal. And Louie's that guy who's like the quiet, kind soul that did good because he wanted to. This really just solidifies his legacy. He's not just talented, he's good. Fans remember that. So in a nutshell, Louis Tomlinson donated thousands to help his former bodyguard could, help save his life, ultimately. And Louis didn't brag, did not announce it. The story still got picked up, but he did not turn it into a PR moment because he just does what Louis always does. He shows up with heart. And that's why Louis honestly has the most loyal fan base in the entire 1D fandom, if not the world, because his fans, they're like the Louis army, they mobilize. And Louis Tomlinson has proven once again, he's not just a musician. He is a good man. He's a good person. And you know what? You proved it again. You proved it again, Louis. So if you love Louis Tomlinson as much as we do, us Louis, drop a comment and share. Why do you think this donation says even more about his character and about the era he's stepping into? So honestly, I think I'll buy more than one album when it comes out. I hope this album completely sells out. And if anything, I would love to see Louis get a Grammy nomination or just really be recognized, because honestly, he's like Quincy Jones, if you think about it, just so unbelievably talented. And as I said, Louis been credited with writing quite a few hit songs as a ghostwriter. There was someone else who said, like, it was another celebrity said, I don't think people realize the amount of songs Louis Tomlinson has ghostwritten. He's ghostwritten quite a bit. So and it's been going on for a while. So that's, I think that is where people can see that it's the person that does not turn it into anything more than what it is. It was an act of kindness. And I don't think that he thought twice about it. I mean, I don't know the guy, but it's classic Louis. And I think the fans that have been there with him, they want to see Louis recognized because it's long overdue. I'm really hoping he drops another song that's going to be in the upcoming album. And it just, you got Lemonade, then you had Sleepwalking that was on the other side of the single. And it's as if each song has gotten better and better. Like Lemonade was really good, but this Palaces thing, oh my God. There's so many layers to Palaces. And I think there's so many ways to interpret Palaces, even more so than Lemonade, which is, that's a credit to the lyrical sniper that he is. So good on you, Louis. Louis Tomlinson is truly special. And I think One Direction would not have been One Direction without him and Liam. And they really, really, they're not appreciated enough.